My name's Chris Phillips. I'm co-owner of Wildflower Pizza in Ovingdean. We're an artisan pizza outlet. We're not really a restaurant, we just take away. And we do high-end pizzas. Where Wildflower Pizza now is actually my mum's back garden. So we're actually sitting in my mum's back garden. And the restaurant there used to be our woodshed. You know, my mum helps making dough in the morning and doing dough balls. So we kind of feel like an Italian family, but we're English. But yeah, it's great. And I think when people come here, they're thrown a bit because it's kind of really unusual to have a kind of little pizza takeaway in such a small village. You know, it's just very romantic here, and I do love that kind of Italian vibe, but I like to bring the English side into it. Virtually every pizza that we do doesn't make any difference if it's our ocean one, which is, you know, anchovies and capers. Somewhere along that line, we've changed it to make it better. And it might be a case, let's say for example, artichokes, we buy the best artichokes we can buy, but then we marinate them again in our own herbs and spices and re-season them to what we think is correct, where most people just chuck them on. Our mushrooms, oven roasted in our wood-fired oven the morning before till they're 1/5 of the size of what it was, but then the flavour of those mushrooms is stunning. And you're using less, but you're using more. So the profile of that pizza is suddenly, it's not a mushroom pizza, it's something totally different. It's like wood-fired mushrooms. The truffle oils, it comes from a little Italian lady in Ovingdean, direct from their farm in Italy. So you're kind of getting the best ingredients, so half Italian, English mushrooms, but using different techniques instead of just piling it on. Everything's kind of got a different vibe to it, a different profile of flavour, which is powerful, and pizza needs to be kind of quite punchy. In the last year or so, we've really been pushing our toppings and trying to go, okay, so how do we make it better without just throwing money at it? You know, instead of throwing money at ingredients, why don't we become more experimental? You know, for example, we get our oregano doesn't come from Italy, it comes from Mexico, because they do the best oregano in the world, and it's all wild, it's hand-picked, and you can really taste that in the pizza. You use less because it's quite strong, but it has this aromat that kind of, I remember when we first started using this wild oregano, people just eat it. It was that good. It's not a restaurant dough, it's a takeaway dough. It's actually been designed for you to take home. You know, and you know when you get home, it's going to be as good as it came out of the oven. Where I think certain other restaurants are brilliant, especially Neapolitana kind of style restaurants. Yeah. Their pizzas, after 3 or 4 minutes, they really go down in quality. And that's something we always looked at when we started doing this, to say, how do we get that quality up? How do you get a product to someone at home that blows their mind? And if you buy a Domino's, they've got all sorts of weird fancy boxes and, you know, different things they're doing to the pizzas, and the quality is good and they're consistent. It's like McDonald's, they are consistent, but they're not particularly great. That's the problem. So it's how do you do what they're doing but make it amazing? And I think that's where we're nearly there. Right. So and we get busier every week.